Hi everybody, Jordan Blotcher here, aka the Sports Card Lawyer, back again with another video. Now, for this video, I'm going to be sharing my high stakes pick of the day with you guys. This is a card for those of you who have money to spend. I consider a high stakes card to be anything over $1,000 for cost of acquisition of that card at the time that I make the video. For some people, that's not high stakes. For other people, that's very high stakes. Everybody's in a different place in the hobby. But for the purposes of my videos, I'm going to be considering a high stakes buy to be anything that costs over $1,000 at the time that I make the video. So for this video, we're going to be talking about a basketball card. We're going to be talking about Kevin Durant's 2007 Topps Chrome Base in PSA 10. Now, the first thing that should catch your attention when we take a look at this graph and this trend line is that it is steadily downward sloping over the course of a year. That is a matter of concern for us. When a card has a downward sloping trend line in this way, we get worried because even though the card is trading below trend line at that point in time, because the trend line isn't flat, we can't adequately predict how long the trend line is going to be downward sloping for. So as you can see right now, this card has a trend line right around 2250. It seems like it's in the middle of these two axes on the graph right here. So right around 2250, but in a couple of months, that trend line might be lower than 2250 just because of the shape and slant of this trend line. So that is something that I wanted to qualify this video with, because this is not a slam dunk pick in the way that some of the other videos that I posted are. However, overall, on the whole, I think that this is a card that has a lot of upside. It still is trading well below its trend line, and there is an opportunity to make a very high ROI on this card over the course of a year. So as you can see, in September and October of this past year, this was a very expensive card. We had multiple sales over $4,000, and even one sale as high as $5,500 on this card. How much will it cost you to acquire the card today? Well, our last 4 sales are around $1,500, which means that we can probably get a seller who wants to avoid eBay fees to release this card to us at about $1,400. Now, remember that the trend line on the card is 2250, so in order to determine how much we stand to make, on a $1,400 card with a $2,200 trend line, we do 1,400 divided by 2250, and you would be able to purchase this card at 62% of its trend line, which means there's an opportunity for you to make a 38% ROI on this card, and that's assuming that the card never rises back to the point where it was in September and October of 2021. Of course, if this card ever returns to 4,400 or 5,000, or Durant returns to MVP form and is in that conversation at the beginning of next season, you could have an opportunity to make a 200 or even a 300% return on this card. Is that necessarily going to happen? Of course not. Or, I mean, we don't know for certain that you're going to be able to make that sort of return. That's an absolutely massive return for you to make on a single card that you bought. However, it is very plausible that in the short or medium term, you will be able to make a 30 to 40% return on this card. Is that certain to happen? We can't say so because of this downward sloping trend line. However, I still believe that this card is a buy just because of how much potential there is, given where this card has traded within the last year. So that's why I've recommended this card as my high stakes pick of the day. Again, if you're uncomfortable with the risk that exists because of the downward sloping nature of this trend line, I would completely understand. This pick is not for everyone. A lot of people don't like Kevin Durant. They think he's a snake anyway. They think that he's a cancer in the locker room, bad for the teams that he plays on, and that his legacy will be damaged by the fact that he's been hopping from team to team. And that is absolutely true. Kevin Durant might not be a long-term hold 2, 3, 4 years down the road. However, if next season starts and Kevin Durant is performing well on the court, this is no longer going to be a $1,500 card. It's going to be a $2,200 card, or a $2,500 card, a $3,000 card, or even a $4,000 card. And so I think there is a really great opportunity to make a pretty solid return on this card, regardless of the general uncertainty surrounding Kevin Durant and where he's going to be playing next year. So that's my high stakes pick of the day. Drop me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'm looking forward to making more content for you very soon.